Hey Pixar fans, what's going on? Dan Taylor from danthepixarfan.com here, and today I'm going to be taking a detailed look at the complete first wave of Lightyear crystal grade figures by Mattel. These are exclusive to Walmart in the US, and as I've explained in previous videos, these figures are a part of Mattel's 5-inch scale Lightyear action figure collection. It's just a branch off, or rather a side series, a subcategory if you will, whatever you want to call it, of the 5-inch scale main line, which I did also review, so be sure to check out that video first by clicking the card above as I go into a lot more detail about the main line there and all the different categories within this expansive 5-inch scale range. I'll also be making a playlist featuring all my Lightyear 5-inch scale figure reviews to help you keep track of this line. I want to make things as simple as possible for you to follow, so look out for that soon as well. So the first question I'm sure you're asking yourself is, what makes this crystal grade series of Lightyear 5-inch figures different from the main line of Lightyear 5-inch figures? Not a lot, to be honest. The actual figures themselves here really could have just been included in the main line. They're the same size, make, and quality, but with that said, there are some aspects of this side series that Mattel threw in that do set it apart. The first thing being the packaging. It's very similar to the main line, but of course we have the crystal grade text added there in the corner, and a bit more of an overall purple color scheme, which looks really cool. The other difference is these figures have a slight metallic sheen that's exclusive to this crystal grade series. It's very subtle, it's like a subtle paint overlay, but it gives the suits a pretty neat shiny look that isn't present in the main line. And then of course the whole crystal grade theme here refers to the hyperspeed crystals or crystallic fusion that plays a huge, crucial part in Lightyear's story. Without spoilers, but just to provide a little bit of context here for this line, in the film, Buzz goes on mission after mission trying to test different crystallic fuel formulas, trying to achieve a stable crystal that can be used as fuel to power Star Command's exploration vessel, which had crash landed. So anyway, it is kind of cool that this side series is themed around crystallic fusion and Buzz's different test flight suits, and as such they all come with a different colored crystallic fuel cell. And then the last thing that kind of sets these figures apart from the main line, going along with the whole crystal theming here, these figures also each include a shiny, metallic, or like holographic style crystal structure card, which features kind of the fictitious scientific specs of the different crystals, so that's kind of a cool, fun inclusion that can be used in your Lightyear display. Alright guys, so I hope that all makes sense. With that little background out of the way, let's get moving to checking out the figures individually. First here in the packaging, and then of course I'll take them out for a closer look where I'll show you all the articulation points as well as the accessories. I'm going to go ahead and start here with the single figures, and then I'll move on to the Buzz and Zurg 2-pack. So here is Buzz Lightyear in his red XL9 test flight suit. It looks awesome. It says there that it includes Ivan, which is the little handheld navigator tool accessory. In the film, Ivan is essentially part virtual personal assistant, part autopilot / navigator, kind of like the sci-fi version of Alexa. And then here we have a blue colored crystal fuel cell, which is really cool and actually different from how the mainline version is made that's included with the XL1 Buzz. So I'll cover that more soon in this video and compare them once I open things up here. And here's the back of the package, highlighting the figure and the other two in this series. There you can see the crystal structure card that I was talking about, and Buzz with his different accessories, including the fuel cell, Ivan navigator, and helmet. I'm definitely interested if there's going to be a second wave of crystal grade figures, but for now, this is it. Okay, let's go ahead and get XL9 Buzz out of the package here, and I'll be right back. And here he is. Nice looking figure for sure, totally in line with the make and quality of the mainline figures like I said, so I'll just echo all my thoughts here from that review. To sum it up though, yeah, not the most detailed figure in terms of paint ops, but very nice sculpting here nonetheless for a $10 figure, good likeness, and a solid 14 points of articulation. Just gonna give you a full turnaround here. Here on the back, we still have that mysterious hole that all the suited Buzz figures have, even though there still hasn't been any accessory included with any of the Buzz figures so far in this line that's able to fit into it. There's also that hole on his side there as usual. This time you can plug his Ivan navigator tool into it. Alright, so I think it's time to move on to articulation, starting here with the head. It can rotate side to side, possibly 360 if you want to force it, but for the most part his collar gets in the way. Then there at the shoulders, his arms have a nice range of movement there, just like all the other figures. And then there at the elbows, they can bend of course, as well as rotate 360. His wrists have full rotation, like so. Then 360-degree torso rotation at the waist. His legs, just like all the other figures, can be posed outward, just like this. And then upward and backward, though back is a little bit more restricted due to how he's molded there. And then just like his elbows, his knees can bend, and rotate. And lastly, his ankles can rotate a full 360. He does have peg holes under his feet as well, just like all the others. That will come in handy with the upcoming Star Command playset and vehicles. And that is it for the main sculpt of this Buzz figure. Now let's go ahead and take a look at all the accessories. First up, guys, here is his helmet. It looks pretty sweet, different from the other helmets that come with the other Buzz figures. I like that it has this red painted area here on the back. I dig the clear visor so that we can see Buzz's face when he's wearing it. And speaking of wearing it, look at that. And the good news is this one and all of the helmets in this Crystal Grade series actually snap on securely, unlike the mainline XL1 Buzz. In that review, I talk about how the helmet doesn't stay in place when on Buzz's head, and I had wished that it wasn't so loose and wobbly. Well, for some reason, that issue was fixed here with the Crystal Grade series of figures, so I'm really happy to report that. This is how I imagined the XL1 helmet would fit on Buzz all along. And moving along, here's the little included handheld Ivan navigator tool, one of several Ivan designs we see in the film. We've got the little peg there that can be plugged into the hole on Buzz's side, just like this. There we go. And here is Buzz's full outfitted look. And now let's take a look at the last accessory here with this figure, which is the XL9 Crystal Fuel Cell. Now, this is another super exciting thing that I wanted to report on. So, as I mentioned earlier, the way that Mattel did the fuel cells here for the Crystal Grade series is actually different and much improved, in my opinion, when compared to the one that came in the main line with XL1 Buzz. The fuel cells here in this series actually have space under the handle, and they have a plastic 3D tangible crystal inside the casing, providing a cool floating effect. I'm going to go ahead and grab the mainline XL1 fuel cell here so that we can compare the two now, just so you can see what I mean. See, so we have the Crystal Grade version on the left and the mainline XL1 version on the right. And as you can see, the XL1 version just has the crystal like molded on as part of the fuel cell window, raised a little bit for some slight depth, but ultimately just 2D, while the Crystal Grade version has an actual translucent crystal sculpt inside the cell. So yeah, there's not even a question that this Crystal Grade version of the fuel cell is much improved and a much better looking accessory. And here you can see the completed XL9 Buzz with all his gear, holding the fuel cell and Ivan Navigator, and this looks completely awesome, guys. And between the better fuel cell and the helmet that can attach on securely, you could say this is ultimately, overall, a better figure compared to the XL1 Buzz. So maybe that one and all the Buzz figures in his different flight suits should have been released in this Crystal Grade series. Oh, yeah, and I almost forgot, here's the XL9 Crystal Structure card that I touched on earlier. As you can see, it has that classic trading card foil holographic look, which is pretty sweet. Again, none of this really means anything, it's just made to look all science-y. So yeah, and here's a graphic of the XL9 ship, and even though I don't believe this vehicle will get released in the 5-inch scale line, at least a toy of it is coming as part of Mattel's micro or small scale hyperspeed series later this year. Okay, next up is XL12 Buzz Lightyear. This time he's in this cool yellow suit. Here's just a quick look at the packaging, and he basically comes with all the same stuff that was included with the XL9 Buzz, just different designs, including a new helmet, a new Ivan Navigator, a new fuel cell, and a new crystal structure card. Here's the back of the box. Again, same overall look here, just now highlighting XL12 Buzz. And now as far as the figure, since things here are just so similar to the XL9 Buzz that I just showed, I'll more or less breeze through things. Good looking sculpt again, yet minimal paint ops, but as usual there are some nice painted and digitally printed details. We got that nice Crystal Grade series metallic shine, and this one's head sculpt is actually different. The XL9 Buzz had a slight smile, and this one here has a much more serious expression, so I'm glad that they mixed things up. Here on the back, it's the same old story. And this Buzz also has the same 14 points of articulation, so I really don't think that I have to demonstrate each point again. You guys get it. We got the head, arms at the shoulders, elbows, wrists, waist, legs, knees, and ankles. So that is XL12 Buzz. I'm really feeling the yellow and brown color scheme, and honestly, I had no idea until I saw the film that most of these suits and XL ships would only be on screen for really a few brief moments. Like, some of them blink and you'll miss them during a montage, but they are there. It all goes by so fast, so I'll be excited to see it again and try to catch them all. Anyway, here's his XL12 helmet, and again, I like that this is a different design and not just the same helmet used over and over again. Looking really good. And this helmet also fits on like so and snaps securely into place. Again, there's no wobbling around with this one or anything, so I really appreciate that. And here is the XL12 version of Ivan. We got the peg again so that you can insert it on Buzz's belt if you want. And here's what the two Ivan tools look like next to each other side by side in case anyone was interested in a comparison. And here's the XL12 fuel cell, once again with improved design. This is the exact same sculpt as the XL9 fuel cell that I just shared, but this time it's purple inside instead of blue. Very nice. And here is Buzz's completed helmeted XL12 look holding both his accessories. Very well done overall, no major complaints whatsoever from me. Lastly, here is the XL12 crystal structure card featuring the crystal and some made-up specs again that do differ from the XL9 card. A little bit of a different color scheme here it looks like as well. And here's the back featuring the XL12 Hyperspeed Test spacecraft, which again is one that is coming soon as a toy in Mattel's small-scale Hyperspeed series, so look for that a little bit later this summer. And now for the last of the single-carded crystal grade figures before moving on to the 2-pack, here we have Space Ranger Alpha Buzz Lightyear. And once again, here's a look at the packaging. And oddly enough, this one also says that it includes Ivan and a fuel crystal like the others, but this one actually doesn't include any Ivan Navigator, so that's probably going to confuse some people getting this. It does include the fuel crystal and some more accessories like his helmet and a blaster, but no Ivan. And here's your quick look at the back of the packaging, but you know, you've seen one, you've really seen them all. And okay, let's get this figure out, touch on all the details, and later I'm going to compare this Alpha Buzz to the other 5-inch scale Alpha Buzz releases that I've reviewed so far. So here he is, fresh out of the box, and right away you can see that nice crystal grade metallic shine. I think it's the most obvious here out of the three, honestly, but what do you guys think? He looks really cool all around. Still no Lightyear name on his chest plate though, which unfortunately is the case with all the 5-inch Alpha Buzzes so far. And at first glance, this might look like just the same sculpt as the mainline Alpha Buzz, but it's actually pretty different as you're going to see in my comparison toward the end of this video, so that was surprising to me. So now a few things that I wanted to touch on. First of all, obviously his head sculpt is very different from the mainline Alpha Buzz, since of course this one here has his classic purple head covering, while the mainline Alpha Buzz does not have that. That one's head sculpt has his hair. Then as far as the less obvious differences, you'll see that this one actually appears to be just slightly smaller overall. So with that said, it seems from what I can tell that this is an entirely new sculpt, when I thought it was just going to be a kit-bashed figure using the same mainline Buzz's body, just with a metallic shine and a new head. Like the mainline Alpha Buzz though, this one here has 12 points of articulation instead of 14, since there's no posability at the ankles. Another aspect that is different about this Buzz when compared to the mainline Alpha Buzz is that this one here comes with his helmet, which is a really good inclusion. Nobody wants Buzz without a helmet accessory, I don't think, so that was certainly an odd choice in regard to the mainline Alpha Buzz that didn't come with one. This is the exact same helmet though that was included with Buzz in the Recruits to the Rescue multi-pack that I reviewed, even down to that weird strip of tape looking stuff that I mentioned last time that can't be peeled off. Wonder what that mark is all about. Anyway, here's what Buzz looks like with his helmet on, and I love how since this one has his purple head covering, it looks even that much closer to the iconic Buzz design we're all familiar with. Overall, this is a very good 5-inch scale Alpha Buzz figure, and probably my favorite of them so far. And now quickly, since it's real small, here's the blaster accessory that he comes with, which so far is an exclusive to this crystal grade figure. This blaster hasn't been included with any other Buzz figures so far in this line, and it's a pretty cool design. We've got the peg there. So of course, you guessed it, it can plug right into the hole there on his side, which provides a pretty sweet look. And then he can hold the blaster as well, like that even needs to be said. But I do have to say, I like how Buzz's hand sculpt is, how it has his finger slightly up there so it can rest on, or rather at least near the trigger, giving off a more realistic vibe when posing him out. And here's the XL15 crystal that comes with this figure, which is super cool looking. Yeah, it is the same sculpt as the others with that awesome 3D crystal in the middle, but this is probably my favorite crystal of the bunch. I just really like the clear yet sparkly iridescent look here with this one, but I do find it a little odd that the XL15 crystal comes here with Alpha Buzz. Yeah, it does work within the context of the film, technically, but to me, it would have made even more sense if XL15 suited Buzz Lightyear came here with this XL15 crystal in this crystal grade assortment, since we haven't even gotten a 5-inch scale XL15 Buzz yet, but hey, I'm not running the show. Regardless, check it out. Things do look extra cool here when you combine the Alpha Buzz figure with all his accessories. He's got his helmet on, he's got his purple head covering, he's got that glossy crystal grade look, he's holding his blaster and fuel cell. It's all fantastic. I would have loved to see him come with a laser blade that you could attach to his back like in the film, but at least a laser blade comes with some of the other figures that you can combine here and you can plug it into the hole on his side there. Lastly, here's the XL15 crystal structure card, which is also my favorite of the cards. I just like how, just like in the film, the crystal itself appears to be the most colorful. We have the specs here, we got that foil holographic look once again, as expected. And here on the back is the XL15 ship, which has been released in this 5-inch scale line, thankfully, so that'll be something I'll be reviewing very soon. Stay tuned. And then I wanted to share a shot of all the crystal grade buzzes side by side here so that you can see a comparison. They really do look phenomenal displayed next to each other like this. I love all the colors, and imagine how cool it will be once Mattel makes all his test flight suits. That'll make for a stellar display, assuming it's going to happen. We still have quite a few to go, but I'm really hopeful that Mattel comes through. And as far as head sculpts here, I just wanted to note that it seems as though XL9 and Alpha Buzz have the same head sculpt. That's what it looks like to me. At any rate, it's like the exact same expression. While, as I mentioned earlier, the XL12 Buzz has a totally different, more stern or serious expression. And here's a comparison of the two helmets, XL12 on the left and XL9 on the right. Definitely let me know which design you prefer. And I also wanted to share a quick comparison of all the different crystal grade fuel cells, which are on the left, and then I threw in the mainline XL1 Buzz Lightyear crystal on the far right there, just so you can see again how much better the crystal grade series versions look. And then here's a comparison of all the crystal structure cards so that you can see all the similarities and differences of all three cards yourself in one shot. Alright guys, we made it to the Walmart exclusive Crystal Grade Series Buzz Lightyear vs. Zurg Clash Pack. So first of all, the packaging is awesome, going along with the crystal grade look and overall design of the single carded figures. It says crystal grade in the corner, and the figures stand against a cool backdrop featuring all sorts of like computer display graphics. Loving the whole presentation here, and of course the main reason to get this set is that we get here an exclusive Battle Damage Buzz Lightyear and exclusive Battle Damage Zurg, not to mention a handful of accessories that I'm going to touch on in just a minute. Here's the back of the box, which has Buzz fighting Zurg in some cool poses. Shows how Zurg's Ion Blaster arm is equipable and has 3 firing missiles. And then toward the bottom here, even though the figures shown in this little box say Crystal Grade above them, those aren't Crystal Grade figures. It's just showing the 6 mainline figures that go along with the series, which again, I did already review, so be sure to check that out. Okay, I think that just about covers everything here as far as the packaging, which is very impressive, by the way. I really like what Mattel was going with here. But with that said, let's go ahead and bust these figures out. Sorry, packaging. At least you're well documented now. First up, here is Space Ranger Alpha Buzz, which is almost the same figure as the mainline Alpha Buzz. It could very well be the same sculpt, we'll see soon when we compare, but of course this one has some cool digitally printed battle damage deco on his chest plate there. Here's just a quick, and I mean real quick, all-around look, since I mean I have only shown essentially the same Buzz like a million times here at this point, it feels like at least. But just in case you still want to see it all, here you go. He has the same 12 points of articulation as the other Alpha Buzzes: head, arms, at the shoulders, elbows, wrists, waist, legs, and knees. Again, nothing at the ankles, but he does have the peg holes underneath his feet there, and that's it. Once I get all the other Alpha Buzzes I've reviewed next to each other here, I'll be able to tell more if this Buzz is different in any other way, but for now, it just seems the battle damage deco is the only difference. It does look pretty cool, doesn't it though? It's not a lot of damage, but it's just enough to make this Buzz unique and worth getting in this set, I'd say. I also wanted to point out that mine does have a little bit of paint sloppiness there near the leg, but obviously this issue is unique to mine. Not all of them are going to have this problem. Since I had originally ordered this set online before finding it at the store, I got just what Walmart shipped to me. So not a huge issue though, just had to mention it if I'm going to be completely honest in this review. And here's the helmet that he comes with. It's the exact same as the others, so nothing new to note there. Pops on like so. And here's what he looks like with his helmet on. And here we have the FERP gun that he comes with. Again, that's FERP, F-E-R-P, which is actually an acronym for Flare Emergency Rescue Pistol. This gun also comes with the Amazon exclusive Space Ranger Defense multi-pack, so it's not an exclusive to this 2-pack. Has the peg there on the side, so of course we can plug it into Buzz here like so, just like I've shown you what feels like 100 times so far between all the different Lightyear reviews I've done. Anyway, here's what he looks like holding the pistol. Again, I like how his finger reaches the trigger there. And then the laser blade that he comes with is the exact same laser blade that comes with the mainline Alpha Buzz, so nothing new to report on there. The blade can also plug into his side like usual, but again, I do wish it could fit into the hole on his back there instead, since that's how they store them on their suits in the film when not in use. Okay, now for the last of Buzz's accessories. This is interesting. So instead of one of the better upgraded crystal fuel cells that came with the other crystal grade figures, for this set, Mattel reverted to the not as impressive mainline XL1 version here for some weird reason. Not sure why, but yeah, this is the exact same sculpt as the XL1 crystal. The only difference here, as you can see, is it's a lighter blue. So yeah, on the left there is this crystal grade Clash Pack fuel cell, and on the right is the mainline version that came with the XL1 Buzz figure. And here is Crystal Grade Battle Damage Buzz here, the complete look, all geared up, ready for his mission with all his accessories. And the very last figure here as part of this review is Zurg. Zurg here is 9.97 inches tall, in scale with this 5-inch scale line of figures, and I can tell you right away that this is the exact same Zurg as the single pack Zurg in the mainline deluxe collection, as you can see here. The only difference is, like Buzz, Zurg here has some digitally printed battle damage deco on both his chest and his arm blaster. Other than that though, this is the exact same figure. Zurg here looks very cool, just as he does in the film, great likeness, and like all the other figures in this line, he doesn't have a lot going on in the paint department in terms of weathering and other details, but at least this version has some battle damage deco. He does feel lightweight and plasticky, for lack of a better word. I don't want to say cheap, because it does feel well made. This thing isn't going to break or fall apart easily or anything like that, so I wouldn't call it cheap per se, but yeah, plasticky is the word I'd choose for how it feels. Now to touch on posability, it's really the same as the human figures in this line, but I'll still cover it. He's got 14 points of articulation. His head can easily rotate 360 degrees. There's even a little bit of swivel action there. His arms have a nice range of movement there at the shoulders. His elbows can bend and rotate. His wrists can rotate all the way around. 360-degree rotation at the waist. His legs can be posed out like this, as usual. Also forward and up, as well as back. Then his knees can bend and rotate as well. And then for the ankles, I guess these are points of articulation, even though it's very limited movement. But yeah, his feet can kind of swivel a little bit like so. Seems like they may be on a ball joint, but the leg covering kind of gets in the way. So there's hardly any range there. Okay, so those are his pose points and my general thoughts on the figure. Now let's check out his arm blaster and firing missile feature. Here is the arm blaster, same one that's included with the mainline deluxe Zurg, but again, as you can see, this one has some battle damage deco printed on the side there. Things look really cool. Of course, us Toy Story fans know this as an ion blaster, but that term isn't used anywhere in the film, I don't think, or the packaging. Then we have the 3 yellow ion missiles that get inserted into the spring-loaded launcher here, like this. And now let's go ahead and remove his standard arm. Bam, easy peasy, comes right off. And the equipable arm blaster pops on just as easy, like so. And there we go, very menacing. This is a great feature for kids who want to play out Buzz and Zurg's battles from the film. All right, so just press this button here on top and poof! All 3 shoot out just like that. I found, especially these days playing toys with my 2-year-old son, that any kind of projectile feature in toys adds so much play value, and this is one of my favorite types of action features. And let's do it one more time for kicks. Poof! Nice, so cool. Oh, and you know what? I also wanted to make sure I mentioned that his Ion Blaster arm doesn't have any articulation there at the elbows, even though it's molded to look like there is. And then one of the last things that I wanted to cover here, as promised, is a comparison of all 3 Alpha Buzzes that I've reviewed so far. There's the mainline basic single one in the middle there, and then the Crystal Grade Clash Pack Buzz with battle damage on the left, and the Crystal Grade single carded one on the right. And what I'm noticing here now that they're all together is that they all actually appear to be slightly different sculpts, or at least somehow the proportions seem somewhat different. Look, this Clash Pack one on the left looks like the tallest of the bunch by like a fraction, and then the single carded Crystal Grade one on the right appears to be a tiny bit smaller than the other 2, again, by like a fraction. Look at where the waist is on each one, and that might help you see what I mean. I don't know if it's coming across here in this video, but to me here in person, it definitely seems they're all different sizes. Whew, and at long last, here's the entire Lightyear Crystal Grade assortment together, and I gotta say, this is an awesome group of figures here. Again, I can't wait for more figures of Buzz and his other different flight suits, so it would be really cool, I think, if they released them in another Crystal Grade wave, since this is a side series that's specifically themed after Buzz's different test missions after all. Anyway, of course, if you're a collector of Mattel's Lightyear 5-inch scale range already, or even if you're just thinking about diving into this line, I'm obviously going to go ahead and highly recommend you pick these up. Your collection won't be complete without them. I mean, especially the XL9 Buzz and XL12 Buzz, so if you're going to snag any of these Crystal Grade figures, they would be the ones to get since they are the most different. But man, just go for them all if you can, they're totally worth it. You can pick up each single carded crystal grade figure up at your nearest Walmart for $11.97 each, as well as the Buzz and Zurg Clash Pack for $32.97. They're also on Walmart's website if you can't find them in the store, so I'll drop the link in the description below for your convenience. Either way, it's nice that they're so accessible to anyone who's interested, at least here in the US. I'm honestly not sure if this series is getting an international release, so for anyone outside of the US, you'll have to let me know if you spot them. So yeah, what do you guys think? Would you like to see a second Crystal Grade wave? And if so, who would you like to see in it? As always, I'm pumped to hear your thoughts below, and if you did enjoy today's review and you want to hang out with me again soon to talk Pixar toys, I hope you'll consider giving this video a big thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Pixar toy news, reviews, and toy hunts. Find me all over social media at Dan the Pixar Fan, and I will catch you all in my next video.